Badly wounded.
Here's the key, and my mother's journal. What I've seen of it is disturbing. I want to know more about her, but that can wait. We need to save Uncle Deckard first.
I'll search the cathedral. You stay here and learn what you can.
Thank you.
I need to go back.
And it is written, a fire will carve a furrow.
I've got some brand new goods you might be interested in.
My ally has left. The enemies I face will...
Hey folks, this is Riker with a Diablo 3 patch 2.6.8 Season 20 Wizard Build Guide. This is a Hydra build using the Typhon's Veil Wizard set. And in this video, we'll cover the gear and skills and tactics that you want to rock this build. In the video description below, you'll be able to find a link to the D3 planner, which you can use as a quick reference to gear and skills. I will also try to keep that link up to date with the latest information on what the best gear and skills are, as this is an emerging build. But let's begin with an overview of the new set, the Typhon's Veil. The two-piece bonus doubles the duration of Hydras and increases the number of heads on multi-headed Hydras by 2. Now, All Hydras are multi-headed except for one rune, the Mammoth Hydra. So this is a set for all but the Mammoth Hydra, because historically the Mammoth Hydra was really the best
The wizard is exactly what you would expect, a typical spellcaster using the staple fire and cold elements amongst others being lightning and arcane through their spells. They are often referred to as a sorcerer or a mage from other games and titles, but they are all pretty much the same class. In Diablo 3, the wizard has 3 class-specific items: wands, wizard hats, and swords, which are offhand equipped items. Crowd control is a major strength when talking about this specific class, along with an array of different iconic and visually satisfying playstyles. Simply put, variation is not an issue this class suffers from, if all 5 sets were actually viable, that is. If you want to perform well and be able to clear the pinnacle of what the wizard is capable of, make sure to check the current season's patch notes for the latest updated version or the previous season's leaderboards if the class in question was not touched in the current season. Like every other class in the game, the wizard has 5 different sets to choose from, and on top of that a minor weapon set, which is currently actually viable, unlike other weapon sets for other classes. That set is called Chantoto's Resolve, which is usually paired with one of the 5 major sets, Vir's Amazing Arcana, since it requires the wizard to be in Archon form to benefit from its set bonus, and Vir's Amazing Arcana is all about Archon form. This major set provides the wizard with all the Archon modifiers available in the game, along with attack speed, armor, resistance, damage taken reduced, and damage dealt increased while in the form. On the other hand, the minor weapon set buffs the damage of one of the Archon abilities, called Wave of Destruction, transforming the build into a melee-ranged playstyle. This is probably one of the cooler and definitely more unique playstyle, especially visually in the entire game. The form alone makes you feel so powerful and capable as you tear your way through the rifts. You can, however, choose to drop the Chan Toto's resolve and run with De Veers' amazing Arcana alone, while you shift your focus on the Disintegration Wave ability instead, which is an aimed beam of magical damage, but as it currently stands, the combination of these two sets is a much stronger option. Moving on to another set, the Firebird's Finery. As you might expect from its title, this revolves around the fire element and uses an interesting mechanic, which might be fun for some or horrible to others. You see, the 4-piece bonus provides the wizard with an ignite mechanic, which the 6-piece bonus builds both the damage and damage taken reduced out of. These bonuses can stack up to 20 times, but the interesting part is that if an elite monster is ignited, your character gains all 20 stacks straight away. This means that you always want to have an ignited elite monster in the vicinity at all times. The result is, just like Archon, a very unique mechanic which is not seen anywhere else in the game, where this time the power of your set comes from the wizard's surroundings, a specific type of NPC. But of course, we cannot talk about fire without talking about frost. That is where the Delzeray's Magnum Opus set kicks in. The weird part about this is the fact that whenever you read all the set bonuses, there is nothing that indicates a frost or cold themed set, and technically speaking that is true, but as with pretty much all the sets in this game, whenever a choice is presented to you, it's nothing more than an illusion if you want to pick the strongest option. On top of that, the strongest option is the strongest by far, not just by a small fraction, which basically forces you to pick that one ability, in this case being Arcane Orb. This one ability has more damage multipliers than any of the other skills this specific set can work with. This transforms the Delzeray's Magnum Opus set into an Arcane Orb / slow time combination. The slow time itself grants the wizard with the essential and typical damage reduction and damage dealt increase buffs, which when paired with Arcane Orb, at least in its current iteration, is the strongest it can possibly be. It's a shame because since slow time is such a unique ability, which is a reoccurring theme with most of the wizard sets, you never really get to explore its full potential unless you are doing the set dungeon for this set, where you quickly find out that this orb can actually reflect projectiles back at the attackers. Sadly, nobody actually uses this set anymore, since there are much better options out there, like the brand new set, the Typhoon's Veil. Believe it or not, this is a set which focuses on pets, specifically hydras, which only wizards have access to. The more hydra heads you have on the battlefield, the less damage you take, and the more damage you deal. The problem is that you can lose Hydra heads if you take damage, and this is where the community got creative. Instead of using this specific set to play a Hydra build, people opted for a Legacy of Dreams version, so that the wizard does not lose Hydra heads when damage is taken, completely removing the stakes present on the Typhoon's Veil. At the present day, even after Blizzard's attempts to push the set above the LOD version, the set is still inferior overall. Having said that, the playstyle is very cool and definitely one of my personal favorites to pick from. The very last set is Talrasha's Elements, and once again, it's a creative one because it combines all the elements: fire, cold, arcane, and lightning. Every time a different element is used, the wizard gains more toughness through all cold, arcane, and lightning. Every time a different element is used, the wizard gains more toughness through all resistance, and much more damage in general. As this is going on, meteors from the 2P set bonus fall from the sky, providing you with a focused source of damage to play with. I have to say that as cool as this sounds, the wizard suffers from a problem where if you are channeling, all damage is increased thanks to certain legendary items. I believe that channeling was meant for this build specifically, but since channeling increases all damage done, other sets and builds ended up opting for this kind of playstyle, like the Hydra setup I just went over. Personally, I do not enjoy channeling builds at all, I just find them boring, but if this kind of playstyle appeals to you, then go for it. I enjoy the Hydra set even though it unfortunately uses the channeling mechanic, because it's still all about the pets, and I use channeling for other, more engaging purposes, or it may just be because the Hydra set is brand new. Overall, I feel like the wizard class is a very strong and solid pick for most seasons in fact. It offers a good array of variations, some very unique playstyles and abilities along with more than just a single outperforming set to choose from. Currently, the Typhoon's Veil and Veers' Amazing Arcana are both strong and useful for different aspects of the game. Additionally, they are my favorite sets the wizard has in its arsenal and highly recommend giving both a go if you haven't already. That is all I had to share when it comes to what main types of playstyles the wizard has to offer. Hopefully this helps you out and answers some of your questions if you are a new or returning player. If you don't fall under neither of these two categories and still watched the video, thank you so much for doing so, and until next time, take care.
Today, Captain Nemo and I are here giving you guys a brand new player's guide to Diablo 3 in 2020. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and we're about to break down Diablo 3 for those of you who have never played the game before. Nemo, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, Echo? Super pumped, excited to be here once again, to be here with the whole family. Let's do this.
Let's do it. And Nemo has a bunch of tips for us. Before we get into his tips, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for regular Diablo and Diablo Immortal videos, but also my boy Nemo has a channel of his own. It's called Scrappy Academy. I'll be linking that in the description of this video, so make sure you check it out. But Nemo, let's get into tip number 1.
All right, so first tip. When you start playing the game, especially in 2020, you haven't played it in a while, the first thing you gotta do is pick a class, and you gotta make sure that you pick the right class for your playing style. Like, for example, if you are more of the kind of person that just runs into face first, likes to melee, likes to be in the action, super, you know, whatever you want to do, basically pick like a barbarian or a crusader. That would be a melee type of class. If you're the kind of person that likes to sit back and maybe do some shooting, do some sniping, things like that, you want to pick out a DPS, a damage per second type of class, like for example, a demon hunter. That's my first tip to you. Make sure you pick the right class because it's important, otherwise you're not going to like playing the game.
Yeah, and for me, I'll typically use some type of a melee character, but actually in Diablo, I prefer more of the Demon Hunter or the Wizard. I guess it just depends on the play that the game has, but we all have our own different preferences. And, well, that's why we could choose whatever we want. But we have another tip, Nemo, and what's tip number 2?
Well, as you start playing, or as you create the class, and one of the most important things, too, is that you gotta know what kind of class you create. There's a seasonal, there's a regular, there's a hardcore, and a seasonal. A regular is a normal class, you pick it, you play with it, it's yours forever. A seasonal class is actually something that you play per season, and we'll talk about what seasons are in a while. And once the season is over, it goes into a regular class. And then you have hardcore. Hardcore is for the most insane people ever. Hardcore is something that as you pick a character, you build it, you do all the gear for it. If you die anytime in a game, the character gets erased. He actually dies like in real life.
Yeah, that's not for me. I can't handle that at this stage, man. But seasonal characters, once you play them for the season and get all the rewards, they then turn over to be just a character you can use at all times. So
Play with it, it's yours forever. A seasonal class is actually something that you play per season, and we'll talk about what seasons are in a while. And once the season is over, it goes into a regular class. And then you have hardcore. Hardcore is for the most insane people ever. Hardcore is something that as you pick a character, you build it, you do all the gear for it. If you die anytime in a game, the character gets erased. He actually dies like in real life.
yeah, that's not for me. I can't handle that at this stage, man. But seasonal characters, once you play them for the season and get all the rewards, they then turn over to be just a character you can use at all times. So at the beginning of a new season, you should be creating a seasonal character, correct?
Absolutely, because then you're going to be able to get all the rewards and all the gear as you're playing. So it's actually really important. The only thing is, if you have friends that have regular characters, they're not going to be able to play with you unless they have a seasonal character as well.
Makes total sense. Good breaking it down so far. Guys, so far, if you're liking the video, throw a big like on it and let us know some of the questions that you have about Diablo 3 because you're new to it. You don't exactly know what you're doing yet. Let us know down below. We'll be sure to be there to answer the questions, maybe even in an upcoming video. With that being said, Nemo, what's our tip number 3?
Tip number 3, let's talk about modes. So there's a bunch of different modes in the game. You have the campaign mode, you have an adventure mode, and then of course you have a seasonal like challenge mode. Basically a campaign is something, it's a story mode. That's like where the actual story of the game starts. You play and you try to progress from 0 to level 70. At level 70, you beat the story mode. Once you beat the story mode, you go into adventure mode. Adventure mode is what they call the end game. That's where most players sit. That's where you have rifts, greater rifts, and challenges, and all the rest of the stuff that everybody kind of comes back to Diablo for. We'll talk about what rifts and greater rifts are, but remember, there's a regular mode, there's a story mode, there's adventure mode, and then of course there's a challenge mode. Challenge mode actually changes with every season. There's specific things that they kind of keep it fresh. So there's specific things that you have to do, like for example, play with a specific character, with specific gear sets, and etc., and try to have the best times. So there's 3 different modes that are super important in it.
Yeah, and a lot of people say if the game actually starts once you beat it, then you get into the real guts of Diablo 3. All right, so Nemo, why don't we move on and take a look at step number 4, or tip number 4?
Well, I wanted to tell you really quick about difficulties. So a lot of people don't really understand how Diablo works when it comes to difficulties. There's actually 16 difficulties in the game, from normal all the way to Torment 16. And where you want to start, normally actually you want to start with normal. And what a lot of people don't get is the difficulty doesn't actually work with your skill level. Difficulty depends on how much gear you have and how high your gear levels are. So if you go and you put on Torment 16, it doesn't matter if you're the best player in the world, if you don't have the right the gear, you're going to get owned. So you got to make sure that you start with normal and only progress through difficulty levels when you get the actual gear with the right levels.
Yeah, and with that being said, I think when I was playing here with my Barbarian, he wasn't exactly geared up properly. You're going to see me die a few times in the gameplay that working here, and it's probably because I was working on too high of a level with just not the right gear. And there you go. There's a death. So choose the right level. Don't be a hero. Start with normal. Nemo, give me tip number 5, man.
All right, number 5. When you get into the game, it's very important that you have two things. You have a stash and you have armory. Stash is basically where you can put a bunch of gear that you find out there in the world. And hold it. It's kind of like your vault, so to speak. One of the most important things to do is buy as many bags as you can and try to max out the bags. The more bags you have, the more gear you can hold, the more gear sets you can have. It's very important to try to use that money that you have to buy more bags so you can store more gear, because when you go to the armory, that's the next piece of tip that I kind of have. Armory is where you can basically, you can have a bunch of different gear. You can have, you know, there's like 16 different pieces that you can have right on you, something like that. And what the armory does is armory allows you to save the gear sets, so you don't have to individually put them on you. You could just switch from one to another depending on what type of, you know, play that you have. So stash and armory, super important, and max out your bags.
So make as much space as you could possibly have so you can collect more stuff.
That's right.
That's what it is. So I forget what tip are we on. Are we on tip number 6?
I think so.
Tip number 6. Let's call it that. What's your 6th tip, Nemo?
All right, tip number 6. There's artisans in the game. That's very important. There's 3 different important artisans. There's a blacksmith, there's a jeweler, and then there's a mystic. Okay, so blacksmith is where you can go and repair your gear. So if you go out there on a mission and you start playing, your gear gets damaged. If it gets damaged enough, you'll actually lose it. So it's very important. Sometimes you'll see that on the upper right hand corner. It says you're damaged. You know, your gear is damaged.
It's actually going to happen to me in the gameplay here. The character's like cracked and he's yellow and then red when he's completely damaged. And everyone's going to get to see that as my barbarian gets smashed.
Excellent, excellent. So what you can do, well, not excellent for that part, but what you can do is you can go right back into town, even in mid-mission. Go right back to town, travel back and go to a blacksmith and repair your gear. It'll cost you money, but it's going to repair and bring you all of the stats back. Otherwise, you're not going to be running on max stats. It's important to repair your gear before blacksmith and repair your gear. It'll cost you money, but it's going to repair
red when he's completely damaged, and everyone's going to get to see that as my barbarian gets. Smashed.
Excellent, excellent. So what you can damage, you know, your gear is damaged.
It's actually going to happen to me in the gameplay here. The character's like cracked and he's yellow and then red when he's completely damaged, and everyone's going to get to see that as my barbarian gets smashed.
Excellent, excellent. So what you can do, well, not excellent for that part, but what you can do is you can go right back into town, even in mid-mission. Go right back to town, travel back and go to a blacksmith and repair your gear. It'll cost you money, but it's going to repair and bring you all of the stats back. Otherwise, you're not going to be running on max stats. It's important So repair your gear before you go into any missions whatsoever.
Especially if your gear is a little bit low to start with, as far as low level, and then if it gets beaten up, you just have no shot. And like I said, you're going to see that happening to me, and it really makes the struggle even more real. Any more about that before we move on, Nemo?
Well, there's a couple of things you could do with the blacksmith. You could also sell your gear, so it's important to do that. And then you have a couple of different types of gear. We'll talk about that later. But basically, the idea is you want to sell all your greens and your yellows for equipment and for like resources. You want to get rid of them. And then legendaries, only sell them if you have doubles. It's very important. Keep your legendary gear.
So keep legendary gear even if it's a low level legendary gear.
Yes, I would, and I'll tell you why. We're going to talk about that in like tip number 12.
Okay.
But the other thing too is, of course, there's jeweler, right? The jeweler, what that does is combines gems for you, or removes sockets, things like that. We'll talk about that soon as well. And then there's mystic, and mystic basically enchants items. It takes specific items and you can put mythical powers into them. Those are your three artisans.
Making gear even better. And tip number 7, Nemo, is gems. Tell us about gems.
My favorite part. So gems, what are gems? There's two different types of gems. There's regular gems and then there's legendary gems. To them. Those are your three artisans.
Making gear even better. And tip number 7, Nemo, is gems. Tell us about gems.
My favorite part. So gems, what are gems? There's two different types of gems. There's regular gems and then there's legendary gems. You could take regular gems and you put them into sockets. Some equipment has sockets, and what they do is they actually empower that specific equipment and increase your stats. And what you can do is you can take gems, the regular gems, and bring it to your jeweler and combine them together. And when you combine gems, they actually become better gems. So each gem has a color, right? So like a red means power. So if you put like, a lot of times what you want to do is you want to combine like power with like a barbarian because he's melee. Or green gems actually become better gems. So each gem has a color, right? So like a red means power. So if you put like, a lot of times what you want to do is you want to combine like power with like a barbarian because he's melee. Or green gems are dexterity. So that's something you want to put, let's say, into a demon hunter. But as you combine gems, they become better and better gems, and that's what you kind of want to do to get them from like royal to imperial to royal to flawless and so on and so on. And that's how you kind of get gems up to highest levels. And then you would take those gems and put them into your equipment because they have sockets, and equipment has up to 3 sockets. That means you can increase the stats 3 times on max gems. Basically what this means is it gives you more power for your equipment and of course your character. That's your regular gem. There's also something called legendary gems. Legendary gems actually give you special powers, crazy powers. There's so many different gems and there's so many different combinations. With legendary gems, you can only put them in specific things like amulets and rings, but you can upgrade them. So basically you have a legendary gem that starts at level 0 and it goes all the way to level 50s, 30s, depending on the gem. And the only way to upgrade your gem is actually to do a greater rift. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So regular gems, legendary gems with special powers.
All right, and as you guys can see, we talked about that broken looking character up top. You can see that right now. My character is yellow and cracked, and I should have went back to the home base. Kind of healed everything up. But Nemo, tip number 8, we're up to rifts, which is where Diablo really becomes Diablo, right?
That's right. That's where adventure mode starts. There's a bunch of different stuff. There's actually rifts, greater rifts, empowered rifts, and then there's something called challenge rifts. So regular rift is, what's a rift? A rift is like a dungeon if anybody's played it. It's end game, you get in, you play a bunch of stuff, you kill a whole bunch of enemies, and in the end there's a boss. You kill
and
the
we
boss.
Actually, both Nemo and myself put videos out on this channel and on his channel, basically breaking down what rifts are. If you guys missed that, go check that out too.
That's right, you have a great video actually on rift. You should definitely check out Echo's video on that. So, Regular rift. Why do you do a regular rift? To get a keystone. A keystone is an entry, a ticket into a greater rift. What's a greater rift? A greater rift is a timed, much more harder rift. But at a greater rift, you're able to, at the end of it, you're able to upgrade your legendary gems. If you beat a greater rift and you beat the boss, you get 3 chances to upgrade your legendary gem. If you don't die, you get an extra chance. So that's 4 chances.
Right.
Now, what's an empowered rift? Empowered rift is when you pay a whole bunch of money. It's like millions and millions of gold into a greater rift to empower it. Because if you beat that, you actually get an extra chance. So that's 5 extra chances. If you take a greater rift, don't die in it, and empower it, you have 5 chances to upgrade your gem to the next level. That legendary gem, that is.
So crazy legendary gem upgrades. It's really what rifting is all about. And of course we don't want to die, Nemo. Whoever wants to die in this game, but sometimes it's inevitable. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
Especially for new players.
That's right. That's right. So you should definitely start with the regular rift. And of course you can only do that once you beat the game. When you beat the game, you meet Zoltan Cool. He's going to open up some stuff for you. And one of them is going to be a Nephilim obelisk. And that's where you would go and start your regular rift. And then a greater rift, and then there's also something called a challenge rift. That's something that you do basically to place on leaderboards. There's specific gear sets that you use with characters, and if you beat it in a specific time, you can get on a leaderboard, with the world and try to be the best of the best.
There you go. That's rifting, guys. But we have a little bit more. We have to talk about 2 more things. One of them being gear.
Gear, my favorite part. So there's a bunch of different gear.
I thought gems were your favorite part.
All right, my second favorite part.
Okay, fair enough.
So, gear. All right. Now, as we talked about, there's yellows and greens, which you just want to basically get rid of. Sell them, destroy them, use them for resources, because you'll need the resources later. Now, there's legendary gear. There's legendary, there's actually ancient legendary, there's primal, and then there's seasonal. Legendary is like we talked about. Every legendary piece of gear has specific powers, usually 1 power. An ancient legendary has more than 1 power. It has 2 powers and it has a little bit better stats. A primal is actually a piece of gear that's completely maxed out. That is the highest stats that you can possibly get. It does not get any better. You really want to get primal. Now, a legendary is a regular gold, it's a regular brown. If you have ancient legendary, it has like a gold border around it. A primal has a red border around it. That's the best. The idea is you want to have as much primal gear as possible on your character. And then there's something called seasonal. Now, seasonal, of course, is the type of gear that comes out with every season, and there are specific gear sets that you can do, you can get for specific characters for special abilities. Like sometimes they bring out really cool, awesome gear, and with seasonal gear is green. So you'll see that it's a green set of gear. The more seasonal gear you wear, the more pieces you wear, the more powers you unlock. There's specific gear sets that if you wear 2, it gives you special stuff. When you wear 4, it gives you more. And then when you wear 6, it maxes out and gives you 3 or 4 extra powers on top of the legendaries that you have. So in general, that's really how you can just get really awesome, maxed out characters and just rip stuff apart by having some legendary with the gems and the seasonal gear for a gear set.
Gear, there's a lot to it, and gear sets, something that's even more advanced when you talk about all the matching gear sets and how everything works in combination together. That's for another video. We got about 1 more minute left, Nemo. Can we talk about the cube really quickly?
That's right. Kanai's Cube, one of the most important things. You definitely want to get that. Now, you made a video on that. I made a video on that, how to get it. You should definitely check that out. But the Kanai's Cube, what it does is end game. It actually allows you, there's a lot of stuff that a Kanai's Cube does. But for a beginner, what you want to do is you want to get the cube right away. And then it's going to allow you to grab a special power out of any legendary and extract it. And it gives you 3 extra passive skills that you can carry on your character. So you can have 3 extra skills, 3 extra cool things that the legendary items give you without having to actually wear that legendary piece. So if you have a specific legendary piece that has something really cool, like for example, a staff that allows you a chance to spawn a herd of murderous cows every time you hit your enemy, you could go not have to have a staff on you, like use a sword or something like that, bring it into Kanai's Cube, extract the power from it, and then wear it, have it attached to your character. And there's 3 of those that you can get. So Kanai's Cube, super important.
I love it. I love the sound of it. Well, Nemo, I think we finished up on the tips today. Thanks so much for coming through. And guys, if you haven't checked out Nemo's channel, I will be linking it below and at the end of the video. Make sure you go on over to his channel and say what's up. But we're out of here for today. Let me know down below if you want more Diablo 3 content, because I'd be happy to bring it to you. But we're out. Check out this video before you go.
Yeah, that's a cool ability. I like that one.
I gotta set all mine up.
That's Falling Sword. It pretty much takes me up in the air and then drops me like a meteor.
Like a meteor, huh?
You can call me Miley Cyrus because I just came in like a wrecking ball, Nemo.
Oh man, we went there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Nemo. Welcome to another Diablo video, and today is a super special one. Today, we're going to be hanging out and building up a seasonal character. I'm going to be playing, and you're going to be watching. I have my friend Hewan here with us. He's going to be on comm, and he's going to be hanging out with us. Who is Hewan? Hewan actually collaborated with me, and we created a whole bunch of guides for you. That's right, advanced guides and beginner guides for Diablo 3, how to level up, how to do it fast, solo, with friends, all of that. He was featured in all of that, and today right here he's live in the video and we're gonna be playing together. So Hewan, tell everybody hi, say hello. How are you doing today, buddy?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I'm doing swell. I think today I'm gonna play a Crusader, man. You inspired me to do so.
A Crusader, nice. I'm gonna do a Barbarian. In fact, so what I'm going to do is because as we're playing this, we're also going to give you some tips, a lot of beginner tips. So this is going to be a good one for you to kind of check out, because you can play along with us and learn a lot to kind of how to level up fast, how to do a lot of generally cool stuff, because Hewan, like I said, is a pro. He's been playing Diablo for a long time. He does this, and today he's going to kind of give us all the tools and tips and tricks of the trade as we're going to be playing. So I am going to be you guys. I'm going to be a complete beginner. I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions and do a bunch of stuff. So here we are. Hewan, I'm gonna actually pick a barbarian, which is my favorite class. Is a pretty cool one, and I'm gonna name him. So let's do that. In fact, let's spell out Captain Nemo. Okay. So here we are. So I'm at the start game and game settings. So you want me to go and change the difficulty?
Yeah, go ahead and try to change it to Torment 1 if you can. If not, go ahead and try to change it to like Master or something at the higher end for it.
I think it let me change it to Torment 1. Difficulty, Torment 1. I should just go to Adventure mode, right?
Yeah. We're gonna be, after we get you set up, we're gonna just be doing some riffs and kind of just goofing off a little.
Sounds good. So here we are, Torment 1, and I started it. I reached a higher Paragon level. Look at this. And then on the bottom, it's flashing that I could probably assign a whole bunch of Paragon points.
It is. So since you've already made one and gotten it to level 215, when you make a new one, that's how many Paragon points you can put into a new character, which is very nice. Also, what you can do when you're assigning points, instead of clicking them individually, you can hold down Shift button on your keyboard and then click the Add button. And when you do Shift, I believe it's 10 per click. But if you hit Control, it'll put the max amount of points that you have available into that slot.
Oh, I see. And should I put the points up? And if I should, which ones should I do here? I have core, I have offense, defense, and utility. I have about the same actually, 50, 54 points in each.
So go ahead and we'll start in the core then. Since you only have 54 in each,
Yep.
I would go ahead and max out movement speed, and then put the other 4 into strength. That way you're moving a little quicker. Hopefully we can get through rips faster, and just in turn it just gives you a little faster level.
All right, sounds good. So I did that. And what about offense?
So for offense, personally starting out as a lower level, or fresh from level 1, I would probably do critical hit, chance, or damage. You can't really go wrong with either one, so I would probably do chance if it was me.
Do all of it, or?
Yeah, I would just do all of it. I'm a weird person. I like maxing out each one first and then going from there.
That sounds good. No, it gives some people, especially new players that don't know kind of what's going on, that play maybe once and then, I don't know, sometimes like even me, I'm like, I don't know, what should I use? So, okay, so I have 50 points in critical.
I would probably do critical hit, chance, or damage. Them individually, you can hold down shift button on your keyboard and then click the add button. And when you do shift, I believe it's 10 per click.
I see. And should I put the points up? And if I should, which ones should I do here? I have core, I have offense, defense, and utility. I have about the same actually, 54 points in each.
So go ahead and we'll start in the core then. Since you only have 54 in each,
yep,
I would go ahead and max out movement speed, and then put the other 4 into strength. That way you're moving a little quicker. Hopefully we can get through rips faster, and just in turn it just gives you a little faster level.
All right, sounds good. So I did that. And what about offense?
So for offense, personally starting out as a lower level, or fresh from level 1, I would probably do critical hit, chance, or damage. You can't really go wrong with either one, so I would probably do chance if it was me.
Do all of it, or?
Yeah, I would just do all of it. I'm a weird person. I like maxing out each one first and then going from there.
That sounds good. No, it gives some people, especially new players that don't know kind of what's going on, that play maybe once and then, I don't know, sometimes like even me, I'm like, I don't know, what should I use? So, okay, so I have 50 points in critical hit, chance. What about the other 4? I have 4 left.
So for that, you can actually just start in critical hit damage then.
All right, critical hit damage. I put 4 in there. All right, what about defense?
So for defense, I always start out with resist all. It just helps you in the beginning against all types of damage. Seeing as how armor and life regen and health, or just life in general, are very static, but resist all helps against everything, and it can save your life against casters, which are the bane of my existence, and I'm sure you're going to see they are yours as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I have 4 left here after I put 15 resist.
Regen and health, or just life in general, are very static, but resist all helps against everything, and it can save your life against casters, which are the bane of my existence, and I'm sure you're going to see they are yours as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I have 4 left here after I put 15 resist all. Where should I put those?
So from there, I would go ahead and do life regen for now. All of these, by the time you hit 70, might change a little, but we'll go through that. Starting out at Torment 1 is going to be a little difficult, so that's why we're putting most of your stuff into survivability.
That sounds good. We got the last one here, the utility. What do we do with that?
So this one would be a toss-up between resource cost reduction and life per hit. Once again, since these are going to be a little harder, I would go ahead and probably do life per hit to start out, and then the other 4 in resource cost reduction as well.
Sounds good. So we did that. I'm gonna hit accept here, and yeah, we got the Paragon points set up and ready to go. What's next?
So you should have some patterns since you've already created a seasonal character and you haven't had to farm them, I'm assuming. So come over here to Hedrig. Sorry, these names are a little weird here.
Hedrig
so bear
Eamon.
with me.
Hedrig Eamon.
Oh, there we go. Look at you. You're just a scholar, aren't you?
And that's right. Renaissance man. All right.
So now you're going to go ahead and go to Forge Armor.
Forge Armor. Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be looking for the Kane's Fate set, which is going to be around level 20 something. And you're going to be looking for the hands, the feet, and the pan.
Wait, so I go for pants?
Correct. Yep.
And then
the pants are called Kane's Robes.
Kane's Robes. I don't think I see that. Kane's Robes. Pants. So I see Sovereign Accented Flaws. I see a bunch of Glorious Leg Guards. Interesting.
So if you don't have those, what we can do a little later, since, I mean, we can't really do anything until level 20 with those items anyways, is we can craft that stuff later, which is perfectly fine. You get those patterns, I believe, from doing bounties.
Okay.
So we'll just do all the bounties here, and then hopefully you get it. If not, we'll just repeat the process.
Okay.
But if we pass it too much, it's not a huge deal at all.
Sounds good.
So let's go ahead and run away from there.
I'm with you.
So next we need to buy your helm with blood shards. So this lovely lady's right.
Kadala.
Yep. And you're going to buy helms until you get Leoric's crown.
Buy mystery. You're talking about this mystery helm right here.
Correct. Yes.
And it cost me 25 blood shards.
Yep. Which you should have some. Since, like I said previously.
I'm rich. I got 458.
That's not too bad. I wouldn't say rich.
I'm balling, dude. I'm balling. It's all right. It's all right. No. All right. So what am I'm gonna buy them until I can find which one. Now, what's the helmet that I'm looking for?
It's called Leoric's crown. It'll be a legendary helm. It'll be like kind of one of those red ones.
All right. First one we got Adventurous Cove. It's a magic helm. No. Oh, it's gonna be the one with an orange thing on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a legendary one.
All right, I'm getting blue ones so far. Oh, they're all blue so far.
Let's hope you're lucky.
They're all blue.
I literally think it's the only legendary helm you can get starting out.
Oh, I got a yellow. Oh, it's a rare. The greed. Come on. Do it.
So once again, if you don't get it right now, it's perfectly fine. You're gonna get some blood shards from doing rifts. We'll just save up and we'll have you keep going. You can't wear it till level 16 anyways.
I bought a whole bunch of helmets and I did not get it.
Sounds like you just have very good luck then,
terrible,
don't you?
Terrible luck. Alright. Okay.
Alright, so let's go back over to the blacksmith. We'll go ahead and have you salvage. So click on that, it'll be the third tab down. And then you can just hit either salvage items, or you can select the gray, blue, or yellow one.
And get rid of all of them?
Yeah, you're not going to need any of those. You're just looking for the one for the leveling, that's all.
Alright, all done.
Alright, so while we're here, we're going to look for a nice two-handed weapon for you that you can craft.
Oh, okay. Forge weapon?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Just look at any of the two-handed weapons that you can craft. I don't know if you have a preference to axes, maces, whatever you think looks cool.
I think we're gonna go with an axe.
Alright, so two-handed axe. Go ahead and just craft a yellow level 70. And I know you don't have a lot of mats, so once again, it's not a huge deal. We're just hoping to be able to reroll the substats on this one to level requirement reduction.
Now, when you say level 70, what do you mean by that?
So, are you click to open on the two-handed axe tab?
Yep.
So go ahead and mouse over. It's going to have a lock symbol on it. So when you mouse over it, it shows you kind of the stats of it, and then on the bottom right-hand corner of that frame, it shows you the required level.
Yep. I see it right there.
Yep, so go ahead and just craft one of those, and then we're going to
And we
head
want
up north.
and we want a level 70, right? You said.
Yeah, correct. You can probably craft I would say like a 50-ish if you wanted to, and see if you can get level reduction on that. But 70 gives you the most bang for your.
I got a 70, man. I got a champion's path because I'm a champion.
That you are, man. So now we're gonna go northwest up here. I at least think it's northwest.
All right.
Up to this lovely lady.
Miriam.
Yep. So you're gonna go ahead and put your weapon in. It's gonna be the first slot that says enchant. So let me know when you have that up there.
I got it up there.
Perfect. So you're going to see towards the bottom of the weapon, it's going to have. Actually, can you link the weapon? If you hit enter in chat, go ahead and link it for me, and I'll kind of go over what the substats of it are.
So if I enter in chat, I do what?
So go ahead and hit enter, and then hit /P space, and then open your inventory and shift click the weapon for me. And then you're gonna have to enter again.
Man. See, ladies and gentlemen, if you're following all of this. Oh, shoot. We dropped it. Let's try that again. So I'm in the party. I'm in the chat. I'm going to go /P.
Yep.
And then
hit
space.
Good. Yep. You're going to hit space.
And then
you're going to shift click the weapon.
Because it disappears when I hit space.
It should not. If so, just reopen it. That's perfectly fine.
Yep.
As long as it says party on the side, then that's what it's going to toggle to.
Yep. And then I see the champion's path right there. And then you want me to hit enter?
Yep. After it pops up in the chat. Perfect. So the secondary stats, if you click on what you just linked, it shows primary and secondary. So when you put your weapon in the enchant slot and you click one of the secondary stats, and then you click the little question mark right next to it, it shows you what you can reroll versus what you can't. Now, unfortunately, this isn't an exact science when you do this. Unfortunately, it can be any of those things when you roll it, and certain percentages. So it's kind of a luck thing, oriented with doing this. So go ahead for one of the secondary stats on it, and let me just double check what stat you did have again, because I forgot. So I would get rid of the life after each kill, because right now, since we're leveling, monster kill grants 130 experience. Sounds kind of nice.
All right.
So go ahead and try to re-roll that life after each kill until you get a level requirement reduction, or until you run out of mats.
Damn. So what we're doing basically, ladies and gentlemen, here is we're gonna select this one that costs 50, or that has a plus 5770 life after each kill. And then we're gonna use all of these resources right over here and hit the replace button for 33k of gold and re-roll it. And what we're looking for is a level reduction, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
If you're anything like me, very unlucky. I did spend quite a bit to do it.
Well, for the video, we'll be doing it. So let's try it. So replace property. I'm gonna hit it once. It says warning: enchanting an item will bind it to your account. Continue. And we're gonna hit OK.
I don't know why it actually tells you that, considering when you craft it, nobody else can use it anyways, so it's kind of weird.
So we see a select replacement property. Roll the life after each kill, and chance to freeze on hit.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.
Damsak Khan Muhammad Gabela 23. Maraming salamat. Nakataon kayo sa Damsak Khan. Regalo Vlog. Sa platform. Diras Vlog. Maraming salamat. Maraming team collets.
Don't you dare lift a finger to help our mayor fix his wagon. My brother died defending this town, while that bloated coward tried to run away.
Some heroes are fighting each other in an area near here. Wanna go? Oh, and you didn't hear about it from me.
I heard the people who left to get help have all died.
I have a new ally in my group, but my enemies gain strength as well. My ally has left. The enemies I face will be weaker now.
For a long time, Uncle Deckard avoided coming back to this place. There were a lot of ghosts here for him. This is where Diablo drove old King Leoric mad and terrorized the people. I don't know what really happened here, but whatever it was horrible. Nearly everyone who survived went mad.
I have a new ally in my group, but my enemies gain strength as well. This must be where the star fell. Its crater is tinged with some strange magic. Now those are some big mushrooms.
Foul minions, stay back! Back! May this wedge roll! The Skeleton King!
The power of the fallen star awakened me, and soon all will suffer as I have suffered. Gods, bring me his bones!
I will save you!
Stay back!
This can't be opened yet. I can't open this.
Thank you, but why did you risk yourself for me?
You live. Fortune smiles on you, old man. I'm here to bring you back to Leah.
Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I feared the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps I found. We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram.
I have fulfilled my promise to Leah and rescued her uncle, Deckard Cain. Now, all that stands between me and the fallen star is the Skeleton King, who has returned to darken Tristram once again.
I promised Marco I'd protect him, and now he's dead. Burn those corpses before they rise again. And it is written,
I've got some brand new goods you might be interested in. I worked my hands to the bone to bring you these fine goods.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
Our time is running short. What can you tell me about the fallen star?
Not much, I'm afraid, though the prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back. Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
Our time is running short. What can you tell me about the fallen star?
Not much, I'm afraid, though the prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back.
The Skeleton King was once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
Leoric's tale is sad, but I'm here to find the fallen star, and the Skeleton King stands in my way.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Seek out our blacksmith, Hadrig. He knows of its whereabouts. Leah, you should not dismiss the signs so lightly. Do you not believe the evidence of your own eyes?
Horrors have visited Tristram before, and it endured.
But what of the texts? The Zakarum tomes warn of a falling star. The Herodric scroll spoke of the dead rising, and the Lord of Lies. The prophecy of the end days says that at the end of all things, the first sign shall appear.
Since my youth, I have been told that I was special. A prodigy of vast potential. I came to the Ishari Sanctum, seeking what knowledge I could glean from the Masters. But I found them fearful of the truth. I would learn nothing from them. The prophecies they contained showed me all that might come to pass, and all that I might become. Then, a star fell from the heavens, the sign that my moment had come. I will go west to Tristram, to stop the darkness gifts that the star portends, and fulfill the destiny that beckons me. This place reeks of the dead. The fallen star must be near. I have a new ally in my group, but my enemies gain strength as well. This place reeks of the dead. The fallen star must be near. prophecy sent me in search of...
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming. We can't open the gates until we drive them back. They keep coming!
If my old masters could...
I've never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards, open the gates! You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn. Burn those corpses before they rise again.
I came here to study the fall of Old Tristram. This is closer to the town's history than I want to be.
Zakharum has fallen to disgrace. May the gods who abandoned us come to your aid one last time.
Are you Leah? Rumford said you survived the fallen star.
I did, but it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia.
What's up? Keep on returning! I don't care what anyone says. That thing that fell from the sky.
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
I will make certain that doesn't happen. Your town is safe.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do.
I don't care what anyone says. That thing that fell from the sky was no rock.
Have you come to help us? The other adventurers who came...
16 militiamen went out. Only Rumford came back.
What can I do to help you fight?
They're attacking the barricades! There! That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
I, Deckard Cain, have spent many years traveling and writing about the strange creatures in our world, but the sight of the wretched mothers still haunts me. They are the remnants of Queen Asilla's slaughtered handmaidens who were twisted by foul magic. Now they feast upon cadavers and regurgitate them as newly formed, risen dead.
become more powerful.
Where's all the treasure? The fiends didn't take it, did they? Tristram. Diablo himself once walked this place.
For a long time, Uncle Deckard avoided coming back to this place. There were a lot of ghosts here for him. This is where Diablo drove old King Leoric mad and terrorized the people. I don't know what really happened here, but whatever it was horrible. Nearly everyone who survived went mad.
Thank you for your help, but could you talk some sense into Leah? She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her uncle.
Nor should she. I will help her find him. I am stronger still. Come, let us search for your uncle.
We'll need to open the cathedral first. The guards locked it up before they were ambushed. Rumford told me they fought their way back to Adria's hut. The key must still be there.
It's a shame that bard got himself eaten.
Your friends reached the gate in Old Tristram. I'll run ahead to open it for them. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
What about your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons. Hidden cellar! Follow me! Here's the key, and my mother's journal. What I've seen...
I'll search the cathedral.
Thank you.
Aiden came to me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again, but like Aiden, I'll be gone before they fall.
This must be where the star fell. Its crater is tinged with some strange magic. I didn't think I could get any better.
Thought I could keep the dead trapped here. That might save me.
Foul minions! Stay back! Back! Leave this leg hold!
Hey, I will save you!
Help! Help! Thank you, but why did you risk yourself for me?
You live. Fortune smiles on you, old man. I'm here to bring you back to Leah.
Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I feared the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps I found. We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram.
I have fulfilled my promise to Leah and rescued her uncle, Deckard Cain. Now, all that stands between me and the fallen star is the Skeleton King, who has returned to darken Tristram once again.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
Our time's running short. What can you tell me about the fallen star?
Not much, I'm afraid, though the prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back.
The Skeleton King was once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
Leoric's tale is sad, but I'm here to find the fallen star, and the Skeleton King stands in my way.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Leah, you should not dismiss the signs so lightly.
I have some new items. Don't touch anything unless you're buying it. I like to keep my inventory clean. Leah spent all night alongside the blacksmith's wife, tending the wounded.
What? She was out defending the gate?
Did you hear? Old Rumford has us down.
Blacksmith.
Thank you. Follow me. Don't tell anyone, but I've got some new ones.
Friends, I'm sorry.
You are helping. You don't need to be sorry.
Mira, my love, forgive me.
Hedrick! Help me!
Couldn't have done this without you. I'm in your debt. My name is Hedrick Aemon. You'll find his tomb in the cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town. Move your foot back!
I didn't think I could get any better. Hedrick's apprentice is dead. I should tell him.